Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Northampton Township Board of Supervisors meeting. It is Wednesday, March 27th, 2024. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence to remember those that have gone before us. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We do have a couple of special presentations. Before we get started, I just want to remind everyone that we have two opportunities for public comment tonight. The first opportunity is public comment that's limited to agenda items only. And if you would like to speak to any of the agenda items, make a comment, please sign up on the back table. And then there's a second opportunity for public comment, which is at the end of the meeting, which is open comment for anything that is on your mind. Again, please sign up and we'll recognize you when that time comes. So tonight, it's my pleasure to do our first special presentation, and I'd like to call Len Mazzanti, who is the CEO of CRC Industries. And just real quickly, CRC Industries is a global specialty formulas company that sells products around the world. They're headquartered in Horsham, and we're fortunate enough to have the Americas Distribution Center, which is in our industrial park in the Ivyland section of the township. I'm sorry?
Business park.
What did I say?
Industrial.
Business park, sorry.
Technology Center.
The Northampton
Business
Technology Center, yes. In either case, it's a big building out there, and you'd see it. And he has graciously made a donation to the fire department, which is the public safety drone that you see on the table there. So I'm just going to come down for a second. So I don't know if the camera can get onto the drone here. Yeah, that's okay. So we were fortunate enough to be the recipients of a grant from CRC Industries in order to buy this public safety drone. And what this does is really increases our ability to have aerial view of emergency scenes. Whether it's a fire scene, we can put the drone up to get a very wide-angle view of a building potentially that's on fire. Search and rescue. People that are missing. We have Tyler State Park. We have a lot of water rescues here, unfortunately. And what the drone does is it allows us to go places that we would normally have to put emergency service personnel, and now we don't have to do that. So it's a really great safety tool for us, and we're really thankful that CRC sponsored this donation to us and really is a great community partner of ours. And I'd like to turn it over to Len. Maybe he'll say a couple words.
Great, thanks, Adam. Again, I'll be very brief. I just wanted to bring it up that where I was prior to this, up in Exton, PA, we had done something similar for their fire and rescue as well. Our goal was to try and give back to the community on which we operate. And in particular, I like the idea, as Adam said, on how do we help keep people out of harm's way. So this was they really appreciated it up in Exton. Adam and I had a discussion on this, and I'm like, I would love to participate and try and contribute as well towards it, and I hope it's put to great use. So thank you.
Thank you. We'll have a quick photo.
Hey, doing? Good.
Kenny, you got to come in a little bit longer. You're trying to get everybody.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Len, thank you.
Thanks, Adam. Thanks again.
Good to meet you. Told you it would be quick. Do you want to pack it up and sweep it? Just give you guys a minute to grab your stuff. Special thanks to all our firefighters that came tonight to support CRC, and thank them personally for coming tonight. So we're just going to take a second, let them pack up.
Thank you.
Oh, I forgot to move the microphone back. Thank you.
The sign.
That's all good.
Thank you, guys.
Then you move it. Okay, good. Adam, if I could just say one thing, I just want to acknowledge the fact that Adam is obviously on the Board of Supervisors and also the fire chief within the township, and also a former employee of CRC. And, you know, he's done a great thing with the fire department, great done with public safety. And then this is another example of working with the community and getting something from the community to help the township. And I just want to personally thank you. I know the rest of the board wants to do the same thing. So,
Absolutely.
job well done,
Thank
Adam.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, for those that know me, I worked my career at CRC, so when Len mentioned the opportunity to do that, he didn't have a chance to say no. We were able to get it really quickly.
That's good. I mean, it's fabulous.
Yeah, it's really it's a great tool,
Yeah.
and it's been put to use. We've had it for a little while. We've probably had it up 4 or 5 times already for search and rescues. You'd be surprised how many of those we do here. All right, moving on. It is Library Week, and I'm going to turn that over to Paula.
Okay, great. Okay. And we call Wayne up to the microphone here, please. Okay, on behalf of the Board of Supervisors, I want to thank you very much, Wayne, for Wayne Lahr, Director of the Northampton Township Free Library. In your short time, of course, you've made the library very different. You've accomplished a lot, and we appreciate your hard work and your time that you spend. We realize that you work hard. Since it's almost Library Week is coming up, we want to present you with the 2024 National Library Week Proclamation.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and I'm going to read it if everyone
I'm
is
good.
interested. Whereas libraries offer the opportunity for everyone to connect with others, learn new skills, and pursue their passions, no matter where they are on life's journey. Whereas libraries have long served as trusted institutions, often the heart of their cities, towns, schools, and academic campuses. Whereas libraries are an essential public good and fundamental institution in democratic societies working to improve society, protect the right to education and literacy, and promote the free exchange of information and ideas for all. Whereas the Pennsylvania Literacy is Power initiative highlights how libraries and staff encourage literacy in basic information, civil and social, health, and financial, which contributes to greater personal and community success. And whereas libraries adapt to the ever-changing needs of their communities, developing and expanding collections, programs, and services that are as diverse as the population they serve. We need to do it. Whereas libraries workers have worked to expand fluency in the digital literacy skills needed to navigate the online world with the 21st century information exists. Whereas libraries are accessible and inclusive places that promote a sense of local connection, advancing civil engagement, and shared community goals. Whereas getting a library card is a financially literate action. Whereas libraries play a pivotal role in economic development by providing resources and support for job seekers, entrepreneurs, and small businesses, thus contributing to local prosperity, and growth. Whereas libraries, librarians, and library workers are joining library supporters and advocates across the nation to celebrate National Library Week. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Paula Gasper, Supervisor, proclaim that National Library Week is April 7 through April 13, 2024. During this week, I encourage all residents to visit their library and celebrate the adventures and opportunities they unlock for us every day. Ready, set, go, library.
Thank you. Just briefly, I would like to say thank you to the Board of Supervisors on behalf of the library staff, and myself, and the library board. It's been a whirlwind 2+ years that I've been here, and just 10 months ago, I was standing in this position to receive another proclamation for last year's National Library Week. And in that time, we completed our strategic plan, posted it, and have committees up and running to implement that and work on that now. So it's been a great 2 years and very busy, and we're looking forward to the next few. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you, Wayne. Thank you, Paula. It always amazes me, and I don't always get the number right, that we have over 150,000 visitors to the library every year in our own town here. So it's incredible. I think the number is growing. So thank you very much.
Can I say something?
Sorry. Oh, yeah, please.
I just want to mention that Wayne has been our library director for, as he said, just over a couple of years. He's the 4th library director during my tenure as township manager, and he is doing an absolutely fantastic job.
He is.
And we really appreciate all that you do, Wayne, and your passion is beyond words, and it's so nice to see that. So thank you.
So public comment for the agenda items only. Liz?
I'll ask later. I was confused about the order of
Oh, okay. So Liz and Laurie, is that for public comment later?
the, well, I mean,
Would you like to speak on the agenda items now?
new business, is that agenda?
No, the new D, E, F, and G, if you want to speak on any one of those, feel free.
Oh, now?
Sure, yeah.
Oh,
Oh, you can just spin that around.
Yes.
That's it. Just your name for the record?
Liz Yaus, Churchville.
Thank you.
I know sometimes you go through the items kind of quickly, so I just wanted to ask, to consider a resolution authorizing destruction of documents. I'm assuming that you'll give details on what that means. And, okay, just want to make sure that we're going to, and if it's available online anywhere, to let us know, whatever. I just wanted to know details on
Okay,
that, so.
yeah, we'll do, it's something we do every year as part of the records retention, and you'll hear some detail about that shortly. And so Laurie Katz.
Northampton Township. Just quick question going along with that is, are we going to know the time frame, like how long you hold the documents for before they're destroyed?
I have to look at what it says, but
Because I think that's relevant.
So let me just explain why we do what we do. We have a lot of records in the township, a lot of paper records. There is a state law called the Records Retention Act that sets out for municipalities in the Commonwealth how long we have to keep records and when we can destroy them or get rid of them. We have been in the process probably for the last 5 to 10 years of scanning documents and storing documents electronically. So what is on the resolution later tonight is to get rid of some of the documents that we've already scanned and hold electronically, and to get rid of other paper documents that we no longer need to keep. And those are all, anything we get rid of is in accordance with the state records retention law. The board adopted a resolution years ago to follow that law and regulation when we destroy documents, and it requires that the administration give this board a list of the documents that we intend to destroy and the timeframes that we are getting rid of the documents. So 2007 to 2014 registrations for parks and recreations, things like that are what's on the resolution.
Thank you.
That helps explain why we're doing what we're doing and what we do.
Thank you. I don't think, we don't have anything else, any other names on the agenda for public comment, so we'll move on to approval of the minutes. Paula?
Mr. Chairman, if there are no objections, I request that the minutes from February 28 be approved by unanimous consent.
Any objections? Thank you, Paula. Accounts payable, Kim?
Yes, I have the bills list for March 13th, 2024. Total all funds, $1,489,332.02. I also have the bills list for March 27th, 2024. Total all funds, $1,132,559.
There's no other consent items. Do I have a motion to accept the consent items as presented?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next, under new business, we have bids for 2024 road materials. Paula?
Okay, on behalf of the Bucks County Consortium, Salisbury Township advertised bids for bituminous asphalt materials and stone on February 7 and February 11 of this year. Okay, we have a sheet that describes the bids, and I recommend a contract be awarded to Eureka Stone Quarry in Chalfont, Pennsylvania, for 18.5-inch stone, 2B 3/4 stone, 2A stone mix, riprap mix stone, super pave 9.5 millimeter and 19.0 millimeter, wearing super pave, we shouldn't have to read all this, 19.0 mm and 25 OMM binder, and super pave 25.0 base. Okay, and then we're getting a bid from M&W Precast on Durham Road in Ottsville for bicycle grates, and Plumstead Materials also getting one in Pennsylvania for stone. The township is expected to pave or microsurface approximately 10 miles of road system this year. The estimated cost for the materials under this bid is approximately $835,000. If the board agrees with this recommendation, I would like to make a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Please.
I move that we award contracts for various road paving and related maintenance materials to Eureka Stone Quarry, Chalfont, in Pennsylvania, M&W Precast, Ottsville, PA, and Plumstead Materials in Plumsteadville, as recommended by the Public Works Department at their bid prices to the Bucks County Consortium.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Anything else, Paula?
No, that's it.
Kim?
Nope.
Harry?
Nope.
None for
Get it
Neil.
done.
All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next up, we have a preliminary and final land development with Trinity Realty for Bridgestone Drive. Barry?
Sure. May I ask the applicants to step forward, please?
You can have a seat at the table.
Yeah,
if you'd
just
like.
hit the table, please. If you could just please identify yourselves and for the board.
Sure. Thank you. Good evening. My name is Scott Mill. I'm with Van Cleef Engineering. With me is Boris Kaplan with Trinity Realty, the applicant.
Okay, good. And then maybe, Bill, can we bring this up on the screen, or you have up on the screen? So for everybody's benefit, we're talking about a property located on the northern side of Bridgestone Drive Extension, which is a private road. It's about 1,000 feet west of the intersection with Bridgestone Pike. The proposal is to subdivide a 6.3.8 parcel of land into 2 lots. One's going to be 3.27, the other one's going to be 3.11, and construct a two-story single-family dwelling on each lot. And the Bridgestone Drive will be extended with the cul-de-sac to, access these 2 properties. So you have an existing cul-de-sac, and we're extending it down with another roadway along the way there. Along the way, there's also going to be 3 additional lots that will be developed, and that'll be before this board at a later date. This area of the township is zoned CR, Country Residential District, which permits single-family dwellings on 2-acre parcels. So both parcels here we're talking about tonight are over 3 acres, so they meet that requirement. They also have to have a minimum lot width of 200 feet and an impervious surface ratio of 10%. So they both satisfy that. The other issue we have to discuss a little bit is that these are under a homeowners association for the houses on the street there that they're bypassing, and the developer's been very proactive in speaking with the existing property owners regarding this project and working out some type of waiver agreement with them regarding Bridgestone Pike. So that seems to be coming in order. Maybe, gentlemen, if you could just maybe explain a little bit about the project and your dealings with the existing homeowners association along the street there and how that's going.
Sure. I'll get
Sure.
Scott Mill with Van Cleef. I'll get into the kind of the nuts and bolts of the plan, and then
Yeah.
Boris is here. He can fill you in a little bit better with the association and the talks with them. So the plan you have in front of you or up on the monitor is actually kind of a split screen, if you will. As you're looking at it, the top part is kind of the left side of the site, and then the bottom part is an extension of that cul-de-sac or that blue line that extends to the right. So you see the 2 houses are in gray on the left up in the top, which represent the 2 proposed houses, the 2 lots, if you will, being subdivided from the 1 existing parcel there. You see the blue circular cul-de-sac bulb kind of at the end of the 1 lot, which then extends. You can see the blue line extending to the right, and then it jumps down to the bottom level, and then it continues to extend to that salmon orangish color. You can see a portion of that existing cul-de-sac bulb on the right end of the picture. So all in all, that whole blue length of road is about 1,700 lineal feet. That's being proposed to be widened and improved versus what's out there today. As of today, the existing extension of the road is in varying widths of 9 to 10 feet and extends, if you're looking at the bottom portion of the picture, from that pinkish, orangish, salmon colored cul-de-sac bulb to the left side, almost to that thicker gray line. And then, again, the remaining extension from nothing to about 24 feet in width from there on out to the 2 proposed homes. We're proposing underground stormwater management within the road, underneath the road bed, and public water and sewer to be extended from the proposed houses to there's existing water and sewer in that existing cul-de-sac bulb. We'll tie into those, and we're also adding 4 hydrants, fire hydrants, along that length that don't exist there today. There you can see on the bottom picture, at the bottom, a piece of salmon-colored extension to the bottom. That would be one of 2 turnoff areas that we're proposing to allow for 2 vehicles to pass, and then a little bit further to the right, or to the left, and on the upper side is a blue expanded area, which would allow for another area for vehicles to pass. And then once you get to about that thick gray vertical line, it's that full 24-foot width that 2 vehicles could pass without any problem at all. So there's no need to pass from that point of that gray line all the way to the left to where the proposed cul-de-sac bulb is. As mentioned, there are 3 other lots that would eventually be coming in as more of a plot plan approval and request. And those are, if you're looking at the upper picture, to the right of those two gray houses that we're showing, from about that proposed house over to the right of that thick gray line would be the 3 additional homes. And then along the bottom, you see there are additional lots there that exist out there today. Some of the lots are built upon already, and some are, I think, under certain levels of approval or permitting, that additional houses, like I said, are there or in the process of being built in that area.
So the 3 additional lots, that would be, are you seeking variance from the zoning hearing board for the 2-acre requirement?
So the one farthest to the right has already received the necessary variances.
Okay.
We're yet to make application for the other 2. But yes,
Okay.
we would be requesting variance from the minimum 2-acre lot requirement, as they are existing non-conforming lots.
Okay. And my understanding, I guess the 2 lots that you're proposing tonight, which are in the gray upper left-hand corner, so those will have stormwater management systems in the street
Correct.
and also be using the creek behind them for also excess water.
Correct.
Okay, good. And then, all right, good. So, and then the FHA, the homeowners association, I know there was one of the things that's which is a very challenging lot you have here, development, but along the road here, Bridgestone Drive is under a homeowners association today. So I guess you're going to join with that, or could you explain the process that you're working with them?
So during the development process and going back and forth through the meetings with township and engineering and zoning and everybody, we hosted the entire association. I think we had all but 2
Okay.
members come because they had other obligations for the evening. We hosted it at our office, kind of went through, our plans, what we were sort of laying out for the neighborhood, what we were going to do there. The biggest concern was sort of what's going to happen to our existing road. They had a newly paved over roadway, and their concern was, well, what would happen during construction? And we basically came to an agreement that we would take a survey of current conditions prior to starting any kind of, land clearing or any kind of development over there. Provide a report, here's the conditions, and then basically be in a position where any kind of issues or damage that occurs during construction or resulting from construction, that we would minimize anything that we would do, minimize any equipment, machinery, or anything that would be in the roadway in their side of sort of the cul-de-sac or the development, try to keep everything on our lot. So those are the type of agreements that we sort of broadly laid out. In terms of the association afterwards, the understanding was we were going to have a standalone association for the 5. They were going to continue to operate their existing association, and then we would have some sort of an arrangement or an agreement between the 2 for passage of cars, or if there's some kind of shoveling or even road work that would take place. So those sort of agreements would be worked on as 2 standalone associations.
So the approval tonight would be subject to all those issues being ironed out and resolved, I assume, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so,
We basically left off with understanding that once the development process sort of went through, that we would come back and then we'd get reconvened, knowing what is final and approved.
Okay.
We would go back and work with, if they have an attorney, we would bring in our attorneys and sort of hammer out an agreement between the 2 groups to make sure that everybody's happy.
good, okay, good. So,
Yeah, the last thing we want is for, future homeowners to have some kind of an issue where their association is having a problem with another association. We want to iron that
no, I agree, yeah. So it's,
before anything sort of.
Yeah. So these roads will not be dedicated by the town, to the township, so your association will be responsible for maintaining those roads. But we did work with public safety, making sure that the road width, I believe, is going to be 14 feet at the narrowest point.
15 feet.
15 feet at the narrowest point, so from a public safety standpoint, we can get, fire equipment and emergency vehicles back there.
Right.
Okay. Adam, if I could maybe make a
I just
motion?
have one question.
Sure,
if
go
you
ahead.
don't mind. It's just really about the road. And it sounds like you've done some good work with trying to blend 2 HOAs together, which could be contentious. And I think a request that I just ask is that when you guys work on whatever agreements you work on, that specifically that there is language in there that prohibits either HOA from ever closing the road. So if there's ever a dispute,
Yeah,
okay?
That's a good point, yeah.
Right? That somebody doesn't decide they're going to put barricades up and say, okay, well, we're not going to let I know it sounds funny, but it has happened. We were just having a conversation about it. It's happened other place. So anyway, just so this way nobody could ever, you'd have the ability to always keep the road open. I would just be afraid that we would block access for emergency services. Thanks.
Good, okay. Just the other issue, too, on stormwater management, we did mention that, so the new houses being proposed tonight, they'll have stormwater management going to the street, and the new proposed lots, the 3 lots, you still need to go zoning hearing board for 2 of those, but both those lots, all 3 of those lots will have stormwater management systems with below-grade systems.
Correct. That was something that was negotiated or discussed.
With our engineer, yes, okay,
Yes.
so we want to make sure we did that, okay, good.
Barry, just,
Sure.
and again, just so that I'm clear, I know there are a number of easements or rights-of-way associated with Bridgestone Drive, particularly as it extends across the 2 lots and the 3 lots. Have those been obtained yet and recorded, or not yet?
Not yet, because we're waiting for the subdivision approval, and then that'll be part of the recording of the subdivision. And
All right, so obviously those, and I believe it's reflected in the engineer's review letters, but all of those, just so that you're reminded, all of those easements are going to have to be obtained, those deeds reviewed by the township and approved, and those easements recorded with the recording of the record plan.
Yes, one of the resolutions tonight, Joe, is that they have to work with you to make sure we have a homeowners association agreement that works for all parties. So, the proof that the board will be making tonight, if we vote on it tonight and approve it, will be subject to a number of conditions, one of which is that you have to satisfy the engineering, have to town administration, plus our township solicitor from a, obviously, the homeowners association is a challenging thing, especially when you have 2 of them, and the only access to the site is going through another homeowners association, so that's our concern there.
And just one other item to note regarding the easements that were mentioned by Mr. Pizzo. There are utility poles that need to be relocated along this stretch of Bridgestone Drive to accommodate the widening of this road as well. So any necessary construction easements associated with that would need to be obtained.
Madam, if I could read the motion
Please.
For the resolution. So I move for preliminary / final approval of the Trinity Realty minor subdivision land development SLD 23-1, subject to compliance with the Township Engineer's Review Letter dated December 19th, 2023, the Township Planning Review Letter dated December 7th, 2023, and the Township Traffic Engineer Review Letter dated December 19, 2023. It is also recommended that the requested waivers be granted. Approval is subject to the following conditions. I have 6 conditions I'd like to read. The applicant shall enter into a land development and escrow agreement in form acceptable to the township solicitor and engineer. This shall also include a stormwater management, maintenance, and operational agreement. A fee in lieu of recreation open space shall be submitted in the amount of $6,985.88 for each of the 2 new parcels associated with the subdivision per the terms of the development agreement. A fee in lieu of sidewalks in the amount of $7,877 is required as calculated by the township engineer for the 2 additional lots on the subdivision. Stormwater management facilities are to be underground systems included on the individual lots per approval of the township engineer. Those are the 3 lots that are to be done. The applicant should work with the township solicitor to develop a homeowners association agreement per the terms of the development agreement, which also includes coordination with the existing property owners. And the last item is the applicant is responsible for obtaining any outside approvals that may be necessary, including but not limited to DEP, Conservation District, PennDOT, and the Municipal Authority. Further approvals granted for submission of any documents that may be required as part of the sewage planning process. So do you have any questions on those conditions that I read?
I do not.
Okay.
Is there a second? I have a motion and a second. Any other comments, Barry?
No, I'll just say, it's a very challenging lot you folks are developing, but I think you've done a very thoughtful process, and I think you seem to be very organized and committed to it. So, I definitely support it. I would recommend it.
Thanks, Barry. Paula, anything else?
Yeah, well, I'm a little concerned about 2 homeowner associations, and if that'll be a formal agreement. I mean, I know it's going to be tough doing that, but it's up to you.
Kim, any comments?
No, good luck with the homeowners.
None from me, other than the comments I made earlier. We'll just incorporate into your work with Mr. Pizzo on,
Yeah.
getting that straightened out, but that's good. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you,
gentlemen.
Thanks
Yep,
for your
appreciate it.
presentation. Next, we have a consider advertising an ordinance to add a stop sign. Barry.
Sure, thanks, Adam. This board and the administration has always been very supportive of public safety throughout the years. We're always, promoting, the safety through the police department and building a new police building on site. We've also, in the process of finishing the firehouses, making sure we have paid firemen to do the jobs that need to get done. And we also have responsibility with the roads. We spend a lot of time and effort on the roads, making sure that the roads are in a safe condition. And this year, I believe we're actually repaving about 10 miles of road. And we have about 180 miles within the township that we're responsible for, but we're trying to make sure we pave them. In the process of the roads, we also have to worry about traffic safety. And one of the things that we recently did is that we contacted our consulting group, the engineer Bowman Consulting, which works with McMahon, to identify crosswalks within the township that need some safety precautions to it. And we had a crosswalk in Holland that was brought to our attention as being something that had a concern. And the crosswalk was at the intersection of, let's see here, Stonyford Road and East Village Roads. So East Village Roads is where the new development was done by the Toner development. There was a number of single-family houses there, but the road leads down to a lot of condominiums and houses down on East Village Road. And there's a lot of people walking across Stonyford Road to go to Village Shires. And right now, there's a crosswalk there, but there's no stop signs. So what we did is we had a study done by McMahon, and they recommend that we can put forth doing a four-way stop sign there to slow traffic down. We also, a couple months ago, we put some posts in the street on Stonyford Road. When the road goes over the existing train track, we want to slow traffic down there, so we made it narrower so people can walk on either side of Stonyford Road in a safety fashion, all part of the process of being safe there. So what I want to do is make a motion to, pretending to the stop sign, the four-way stop sign. So I move for advertisement of a public meeting on April 17th, 2024, 7 p.m. at the Township Building to consider an ordinance amending the Northampton Township Code, specifically Chapter 15, Motor Vehicles and Traffic, Part 2, for the purpose of adding stop intersections on both the northbound and southbound approaches of Stonyford Road at its intersection of East Village Road.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Any other comment, Barry?
The only other comment I'll mention is that behind Adam, we have a thing up on the wall there, or it stands up. It says, "School, state law, stop, yield to pedestrians." One of the things that we're trying to do in the township is we want people to just basically slow down and stop when necessary. And we have a number of crosswalks in the township, and this board's been working with the administration very carefully to make it as safe as possible. So we see in other townships have this, we see in other states that have it, but the plan is now we have 10 of these ordered, and we want to deliver around the township and put them in the existing crosswalks to make it safer. And we're starting with all the crosswalks in front of the school districts and try to slow down traffic and tell them, listen, you need to stop if somebody's in the walkway. And our plan is to have our traffic engineer, once we do it through the school districts, and also go through on town and see other sites so people need to cross and make people aware of the fact that you have to stop at a crosswalk. It sounds like a very simple thing, but it's something that's critically important that we make sure we do that. So that's an illustration of that. So I just, this goes along the whole process. We're trying to make this place, a lot safer, more walkable community for everybody. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
Okay, thanks, Barry. So we have a motion, a second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you.
That's right.
Next up, we have a resolution authorizing destruction of documents. Kim?
Yes, the Township Administration periodically reviews its paper files and completes an inventory of files that can be discarded under the Township's record retention policy that is aligned with state law. The deposition of records meeting the minimum retention period requires the Board of Supervisors to approve a resolution listing the type and date ranges for the records in question. Our resolution lists the records that have met the minimum retention period under the Pennsylvania Public Records Retention Act. These records are deemed non-essential and can be destroyed. These are older paper records. Current records of a similar nature are now stored electronically. I just want to name a few of the records that we are going to be getting rid of. Some of the stuff like bank statements, canceled checks, daily cash receipt records from 2011 to 2017, seasonal employee timesheets and records from 2016 through 19. Terminated employee paper records are now stored electronically. Parks and Rec, receipt books, refund documents, program and camp registrations, camp attendance sheets, swim club records, facility use applications. We have various paper bids and contracts that are now stored electronically from 2011 and 2015, PA one-call notices from 2016 to 2022, and there's other ones too. And if you've ever been in the basement of this building, you'd know why we need to get rid of some of these paper records. But it's not that we're destroying them, we're putting them on computer, so we do have them. So with that, I'd like to make a motion.
Please.
I move to adopt Resolution R-24-6, authorizing the destruction of certain township records meeting the minimum retention requirements of the Pennsylvania Municipal Records Act.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Kim?
Nope.
Barry?
No, I think it makes a lot of sense to do that, and of course, we have all electronic copies of everything, so everything's scanned, so I think we're safe, so it's all good.
Thank you. Paula?
No.
And none for me. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next, reports. Kim?
Okay. The Senior Center. Spring is getting off to a very busy start at the Senior Center. The activity calendar is packed with a variety of classes and programs. There's something for everyone, age 55 or better. Don't worry, if you're not a member of the Senior Center yet, it's a perfect time to become one. Membership is only $30 a year, and it's the best bargain in town. On Friday, April 5th, make it a point to stop by the center's display at the Senior Expo being held at the Spring Mill Manor from 10 to 1. A fun community event is scheduled for Friday, April 19th from 5 to 8:30, the Spring Fling Shopping Event, just in time for spring holidays, graduation, and end-of-school year gifts. If you're interested in becoming a vendor, please contact the center. There are still a few vendor spaces left. For more information, visit the center's website at northamptonsc.com for the center calendar and details on events and membership. You can call the center at 215-357-8199 or stop by 165 Township Road, right across from the library in Richboro for a personal tour. And now, Parks and Rec. The Parks and Rec Department is pleased to announce a partnership with the Northampton Valley Country Club for an unforgettable night of great food, cocktails, and murder. Join us for Saturday, May 18th for a Golden Girls murder mystery. Reservations are going fast, so be sure to register you and your friends before we're sold out. I have to say, this past Saturday, families gathered at the Senior Center to enjoy Breakfast with the Bunny. The Parks and Rec team hosted 90 parents and children for a delicious breakfast provided by Manny's Deli in Holland. After breakfast, families enjoyed a magic show and, of course, a visit and pictures with the bunny himself. Kids were so excited. It was just a wonderful event. And I want to say personal thanks to Kristen Fullerton, our special events coordinator, and the Park and Rec team for a wonderful event. I have to say, it was just a wonderful event for our community. Seasonal help is needed for the summer of 2024. Parks and Rec is seeking application for camp counselors, lifeguards, and front desk at the swim club. Parents, remind your kids ahead of time to sign up for a job. Finally, the administration and the Board of Supervisors would like to thank Debbie Cottaggio for her 15 years serving the Parks and Rec Department as Operations Manager. Debbie will be retiring on April 1st. She is looking forward to traveling and spending more time with her family, especially her grandchildren. Thank you, Debbie, for your years of dedication and passion to the Park and Rec Department. We wish you nothing but the best, and we're going to really miss you. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Kim. Paula.
Okay, hi. I'm going to talk about the library first. We are implementing our strategic plan, or trying to, getting started. We have 5 committees that continue to develop our implementation recommendations, and they will meet the objectives in the 4 priorities that we have set in the strategic plan. The committees consist of library board members, library staff, and, of course, the director, Wayne. Okay, we're meeting desired goals and fulfilling strategic plan objectives. The library will sponsor a new 10-week citizens class for the spring, happening on Thursdays at 3:30, beginning April 18. Like our current English as a second language classes, it will be taught by a volunteer from the Welcoming the Stranger nonprofit organization. A new online resource will soon be available for township residents and library users. It's called Creative Bug. Creative Bug offers online video arts and crafts workshops and techniques. Learn how to paint, knit, crochet, sew, screen print, and more. The resource should be available to the public on May 1st and will be available through the library's website. And, the library's 2023 annual appeal letter was mailed and distributed to more than 5,300 past donors and new cardholders, library cardholders in November. The library received a donation response from approximately 3.15 of the recipients that were mailed, higher than the industry standard of only 2%. And we resulted in approximately $11,000 that was donated. The 2024 annual appeal is anticipated to take place in late summer. Okay, that's it for the library. And I also wanted to just mention the Veterans Advisory Commission had a town hall a couple weeks ago, and it was very well attended, and a lot of information was given, and I know it was very well, it went very well. And there's more upcoming events coming for the Veterans Administration. I wanted to bring up voting. Election day is April 23rd, everyone. Again, you have to register by April 8th if you have not already. And if you want to send in a mail-in ballot, you have to do that by April 16. And that's it. Just get out there and make sure you vote. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Paula. I neglected to mention early in the meeting that Supervisor Bob Salzer sends his apologies. He couldn't be here this evening. Next report, Barry.
Sure, thanks, Adam. So the little quiet in the planning and zoning. The next planning meeting is scheduled for April 9th, and the redevelopment of the Millrace Inn is on as a topic there. And then the zoning hearing board met on March 11th to hear one residential appeal. Their April meeting is canceled, and their next meeting is going to be on May 13th. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks, Barry. A couple things from me. Recently, the Tri-Hampton Rescue Squad hosted a 3-day course on installation of child car seats. The fire department and rescue squad both attended, and now we have qualified personnel in both of our agencies to offer installation of car seats. You'll be able to bring them either to the rescue squad or the fire department. It'll be a free service from the township, and we'll have somebody help, especially new parents, install their car seats correctly. I think it's a great service. I think there's a lot of nerves around putting youngsters in the cars. And I can tell you, when the firefighters came back from the training, I probably did it wrong. And I think a lot of people do. I was surprised. So it is more complicated than I expected to do it right and safely. So we're looking forward to being able to provide that service. So sometime in the future, just keep an eye out for some advertising when that'll be available. And I expect that will be available year-round. The next thing I wanted to mention is the Bucks County Planning Commission launched a new website for all their projects. An email blast went out from the township, and it is available on our website, right? It's available on township's website, and you can go and see the various projects that the county is working on and what the progress is, and that includes the Newtown Rail Trail that goes through Northampton, so you can stay up to date on that. And finally, the long-awaited Richboro Fire Station is most likely going to get occupied in the next week or two. I expect we'll be moving out of the old police station very shortly and into that and occupy the new building. And you'll start seeing the traffic that you're used to from the firehouse in that location. The Holland Station still has a bit to go, but I think we'll see something in the next maybe 6 to 8 weeks down there.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's all I have tonight. Manager's report.
Just one item this evening. I'm very happy to report that we were notified by the state that we are the recipient of a $988,000 grant for Phase 2 of our sidewalk project. That project is in design right now, and likely construction will start in 2025. But that is very good news. That's a lot of money, and we're very pleased that the state looked favorably upon our application. I want to shout out especially to State Representative Kristen Marcel and Senator Frank Farry. Their support in all of our grant applications has been phenomenal, and I know that they had pushed very hard for us to get this money, and so much appreciation goes to them.
Fantastic. That's $1 million. I'm going to call that $1 million.
Just round it right up.
Yeah, we'll round that right up. That's great. Thank you, Bob. Assistant Manager Bill Wirt.
Good evening. I just wanted to make one announcement tonight. April 1st starts our yard waste and recycling program back to unlimited yard waste out at the curb. Residents can use 30-gallon paper bags or appropriate containers that do not weigh more than 50 pounds. Yard waste in plastic bags will not be collected. The tree branches and shrubbery no more than 36 inches long and less than 3 inches diameter, they must be bundled or tied. And any branches or shrubbery cannot extend over the top of any bag or can. So starting April 1st, you can go back to unlimited yard waste, and it'll be collected the day after your trash.
Thank you, Bill.
And that's all on the website?
Yes.
Okay, thanks, Bill.
Solicitor's report. Joe?
Yes, the record should reflect that the Board of Supervisors met in executive session for approximately 10 minutes immediately prior to this evening's meeting. Matters discussed were 2 matters of pending litigation. No official action was taken by the supervisors during the executive session, and no official action was required at this evening's meeting as a result of that executive session. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Engineers report, Amanda?
And I have nothing to report tonight.
Report tonight. Thank you. We do have a few folks that signed up for public comment. First one is that Rosemary? Come on up to the microphone if you don't mind. And I'm sorry, Rosemary, I'm not good at reading last names. Ricardo, thanks.
Lucy and Ricky.
Okay. And I see you live in Richboro. Thank you.
Not only do I live in Richboro, my father was born in Feasterville. I graduated from Council Rock when we were still taking horse and carriages back and forth to school. I do have a problem. I've been everywhere, okay? And Lisa here tried to help me 2 years ago. I've been to Mike Solomon. I've been to Public Works. I've been to Kristen Mercell's office. I am having a tremendous problem with water runoff. My home was built in 1971. I was the original owner. I was 20 years old. My husband just came back from Vietnam. I don't want to I just don't want to be flooded out. This was a little swale of a creek. It was Long Lane Farms when I was a kid. The run to the soccer field, I think it was Burger Farm. It was a little tiny swale, okay? Now, the embankment is over 6 feet, 7 feet. I have been Okay, look at me. I'm 73 years old. I weigh 115 pounds. I come from a family of contractors and builders. I have been building my own ambient wall, putting 150-pound boulders to stop the erosion. It looks like the Roaring Rapids, and I'm going to show you a picture. And my neighbor to one side does not help. I've seen Mike Solomon, I've seen Public Works, I've gone everywhere. My neighbor built a little bridge across, but there is no footing, there's no anchoring. One storm, it floated away, and it actually created a dam on my side. I put my hip boots on, and I took my sledgehammer, and I went down there, and I broke it apart. And I can't swim that well. I'm glad you have a drone that can find me. Come on, guys, give me a break. This is unbelievable. And I did talk to the school engineer this past summer. The runoff water, I did a little research, okay? The runoff water is coming down, it's piped under Alms House Road from the other side. It comes down to where Cedar and Birch is, then it's exposed, because I'm on Birch Avenue. The culverts are maybe the size of that, 2 of them. When you follow this drainage area or easement down to go under Upper Holland, you could drive a motorcycle through those culverts. There's also, when Glen Meadows was built, they have a retention basin, and then the development above that, with the executive mansions, they have a retention basin that all drain there. It's too much runoff. The Army Corps of Engineers need to assess this. I did ask for that. And I'm going to go back to Kristen and see what I can do. And if I can't get done there, my father was a member of the Army Corps of Engineers in Korea. There has to be somebody that I can contact. But this is outrageous. I can't live with this. I'm going to show you pictures of the storm. And I think we have to get the Coast Guard out in case I go down there.
Yeah, are you on Birch Avenue, or what street are you on, Miss?
Birch.
What number Birch?
20. I was 20 years old when that house was built
So you
for
do
me.
you back up the creek?
Absolutely.
Okay, so the Volraffs are right near you?
Yes, and they're the ones that built the bridge.
Okay, all right. Well, I was 2 doors down from them.
Where?
2 doors down from the Volraffs. You had the Volraffs in the corner.
Are you in Cedar?
No, in Birch. I was there, 15 years ago.
Oh, okay, then you were there and I didn't even know you. I was working.
Okay, yeah. I had a job too, but yeah, that's
Okay.
okay.
We were very quiet people. We didn't engage.
No, we were very
I
noisy.
think what we can do for you is we just,
We'll look into it, yeah.
we'll come out to your house,
Somebody needs to, because it is out of control.
and we'll bring our Director of Public Works, the township
Can
engineer.
you bring the Army Corps?
I don't know if we can get the Army, but
I'll see what I can
but we'll
try.
start with our Army. And does Lisa have your phone number?
Yes, she does.
If you make sure you have.
Hey, guys, come on. My husband was a Vietnam vet. He was awarded the Air Medal. He died because he had exposure to Agent Orange at 59 years old. Give me a break. I'd like to leave my house the way he did, in a body bag. Let's see if we can do it, okay?
We'll see if we can help you out. And
I would appreciate it tremendously. But here, this is what the Roaring Rapids look like. It's called Ricardo's Rapids.
Okay, yep, there's a lot of water there.
That's a good picture.
Was this by chance from last Saturday when it
No,
rained?
this
Or
was last year. Last Saturday.
Wow, it's a river.
It is. And this is all dependent upon everybody downstream keeping that easement clear and upstream. Stop building bridges. And I cannot believe, again, family of builders and contractors, I cannot believe that you're allowed to build a bridge and have no footing.
No, you can't do that.
Well, how come Mike Solomon is telling me that? The other thing of it is that I was a property manager for 50 years, all right? My specialty is high-rises, environmental hazards, and historic properties.
Mrs. Ricardo, you need to use the mic.
Please. My voice is...
I know, but
Okay, yeah.
for people at home.
What we're going to do is, Mr. Pellegrino will contact our Public Works Director and our engineer. We'll come out and make a visit. We'll contact you if that's okay with you. And at
Absolutely.
least start the process of looking at it. If you're moving 150-pound rocks, I'm afraid, so...
You should be, because I am
So we're
absolutely
gonna-
furious.
We're going to come out. Just make sure Lisa has your phone number. Does that
Please.
sound good?
Because, look, again, I've been a long, long time resident here. He doesn't even know me. That's how quiet I've been. I need help right now.
We're going to see if we can help you. And at the very least, we'll try to get to the right people.
All right, and when you come out, would you check the bridge that's built? Because he rebuilt the bridge, and it is not secured. I'm going to have another dam.
While they're there, we'll hopefully have you pointing out to us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good
Good
night.
night, thank you.
Lori?
Hello again.
Just state your name again.
Lori Katz,
Thank you.
Northampton Township. Okay, so I was here a month ago, and I had asked questions to find out if we have an emergency preparedness plan in place, not only for the county, but for our township. I was hoping that somebody would follow up with me, and I was hoping that a time frame of 6 weeks would be enough time to maybe have something in place. So I'm here again, bringing it to the whole board's attention to find out where we're at with that. I was at a representative's office and actually found this Pennsylvania Emergency Preparedness Guide and looked through it a bit and saw, number 10 is terrorism, which is concerning. Especially because of what is on our horizon, which, I understand that it's great, Easter's coming up, we have all these fun holidays and, all these senior center things going on that are nice, but the reality is that, the invasion is here. And we have 12,000 illegal border crossers coming into our country every single day. We have, and 80% of them are military-aged men. So I'm sorry to be the buzzkill here, but we're also a sanctuary county, which I found on CIS.org, and nobody has, I've heard people say, no, we're not, but I'd like to see documentation that guarantees that we're not, and I have not seen that. And I don't know that anybody's willing to put pen to paper regarding that, and I know that that's not at this level because here we are at the township level. However, getting back to, we're supposed to have a plan for terrorism, based on this. So anyhow, I'd like to find out, do we have an emergency plan in place for Northampton Township? I'd also like to find out who is our Northampton Township Emergency Management Coordinator. And, per my request last month, it's a supervisor meeting. I'm wondering if the EMC has been contacted regarding this emergency preparedness plan. Can the public see this plan and what disasters it covers? Are there meetings regarding this that the public can attend? And I'm asking if we could have some kind of, it doesn't have to be a quote unquote town hall, it's a question answer session, I don't know what we want to call it, but to just start the discussion and get a pulse on where our citizens are at, what they're concerned about. I go door knocking, that I talk to the public, I talk to all the districts, I'm in there. People are concerned, let's hear what they have to say. Let's give them an opportunity to interface with our Northampton Police, Emergency Services, County Sheriff, the EMC. So that's kind of where I am, and I'd appreciate some kind of communication regarding that. I'm here, maybe some discussion. Anybody want to say anything before I sit down?
I just tell Frank.
Well, every municipality in the state has an emergency preparedness plan. We follow the county plan. We adopt the county plan as our plan. Our coordinator is our fire marshal, Frank Fenton. He has been our coordinator for decades, probably. Very well versed in emergency management. We update that plan as the county does. Obviously, we can't plan for everything, but it covers virtually anything we can think of. I don't know specifically if terrorism is a specific item in the plan, but certainly what happens as a result of terrorism is part of the plan. Fires, police response, all of that stuff. It's all part of our emergency response plan. And we do look at that plan as the county does on a periodic basis. I think it's annually, but I'm not sure about that. It might be every other year.
Where is that plan located?
It might be on our website. I'm not sure.
I didn't see it.
If it's
I did
not,
look through the
we'll put
website.
it on the website. Local emergency response can only go so far. Once it gets beyond the resources of the municipality, like Northampton Township, we invoke a request to the county. And once the resources exceed the county's resource abilities, then it goes to the state, and then it goes to the federal government.
But most important to us is Northampton Township and what is in place, and are we working actively as the landscape is changing? It's not the same as it was 40 years ago.
We recognize
or even 10 years ago.
But the response is going to be the same, and I think residents...
Well, that's concerning.
The residents can be, the responses are going to be to any type of emergency. And once the resources are exhausted here, we have to rely on higher level government agencies.
What are the resources here?
Our fire department, our police department, our rescue squad, our facilities as shelters. The library, for example, is a shelter facility, our rec center. One of the things that we have been working on is to try and get emergency power to all of our facilities to serve as shelters.
How are we
We don't have
letting
that yet.
our public know about this,
Know about what?
what you have in place?
We'll put the plan on the website, but our facilities in any emergency would be responsive, and our resources. We have limited resources here to respond to emergency. The best thing the public can do is support our police department, our fire department, our rescue squad, and give us the
do
resources.
with
I think you
taxes,
do.
et cetera, too.
I think you do. I agree with that.
You do. I support
But
them in
again,
many ways.
an emergency beyond our capability is going to require other resources.
Are you open to having a community discussion
Sure.
with our residents?
I'm personally open to any discussion, but
Can we set that up?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Bob, if I
Sure,
could
Jim.
interrupt for just a moment, for a couple things. To the extent that the township might want to put certain aspects of its emergency response plan
That is,
on the website, not all aspects of it would be put up, because obviously, part of the emergency response plan includes actions that we don't want the bad guys to know what we're going to do in response to something.
How do we
You
prepare our
don't tell,
citizens?
please let me finish. You don't tell the bank robbers how to get into the bank. You don't tell the bad guys necessarily all the things you're doing to counteract or to stop them from what they might be doing. Following 9/11, there was a system-wide, at all levels of government, rethink and relook into how we as a nation, as a state, as a county, and as a township address emergencies of any and all kinds. And a lot of steps over the past 22, 23 years have been taken in regard. Millions of dollars have been spent throughout this county to make sure that all of the emergency responders can talk to one another on the same equipment, a problem that existed during 9/11 that needed to be addressed. And countywide, millions of dollars have been taken just to address, to make sure all of our emergency responders can contact one another immediately when things are happening.
So limited
To the-
resources concerns me too.
To the extent that, for instance, there is a medical emergency that occurs that Tri-Hampton might not be capable of handling. Ben Salem Rescue Squad has capabilities and training and additional kinds of emergency responses, and they would be dispatched to come up to Northampton to deal with something that was happening here. And the same would be true of emergency response throughout the county. Different departments have different kinds of equipment to help one another, and it isn't isolated. If something's happening in Northampton, we're not on our own. All of the neighboring police, all of the neighboring fire, all of the neighboring EMS would be dispatched. When there was the shooter, as you may have heard, that was in Falls Township last weekend on the Saturday before St. Patrick's Day, there were police departments from throughout the county that were there with officers, with SWAT equipment, with snipers to deal with this response as it was happening in real time. So we're not alone. And when Bob says we adopt as our plan here in Northampton the county plan, that's true of almost all municipalities in the township, including the largest, and in fact most of the largest, because we all train together, we all work together to deal with these emergencies. But again, much of what the response might be to certain kinds of instances. Post 9/11, I know that at the county level, millions of dollars were spent to protect the public water system that the county supplies to Northampton and other municipalities throughout the county, to make sure that they wouldn't be vulnerable to attack or mischief or whatever that might happen. So, but they don't announce to the public what those steps are to make sure that your water system remains safe and free from something bad that might happen.
I appreciate
So-
that. How would we, speaking of water, for example, alert the public and let them know steps that they should be taking to protect themselves, for example? And I do understand not putting everything on a website, but also, Mr. Pizzo, would you be open to having a community discussion on this topic?
So maybe let me just jump in. So we have systems in place to notify the public. We have networks that we can activate where everybody will get a phone call. You can sign up yourself for, I think it's Ready Bucks, and you sign up, and individuals can sign up. We have put that out quite often. I think it's still on our website. You can go check that out. I'm sorry? Ready Notify. So there are ways to do that.
But
the best
to
thing, let me
prepare
finish,
ahead
please.
as
Let
well.
me finish. The best thing that you can do as an individual is go to, you asked, how can you prepare? FEMA has an extraordinary number of resources available to the public. What you can do as an individual, because really a lot of personal preparation is on you, is on you. In the government world, and I think you would probably be surprised about what emergency plans actually look like. They tend to be very generic. They're not specifically designed for each individual occurrence because nobody is smart enough to figure out everything that's going to potentially happen. So they're designed around resource management. That is the issue, and I think that's what you're talking about when it comes to an incident. A local incident could easily overwhelm our resources. And so the plan is really designed to how do you expand your available resources quickly, and what are the steps you need to do that. The other issue is a regional event, which would quickly overwhelm all of the resources available, including Northampton's. So our resources will quickly be used up in a regional event, and we may not be able to count on our neighboring towns to help us because their resources are already being used up. A good example of that is sometimes when we have bad rainstorms and we have major flooding, or power outages, correct, where everybody experiences the same issue. So we have to do resource management. And as Bob pointed out, that's when we say, hey, we are overwhelmed. We go up to the county, and then the county starts to help us with resource management. And when they get overwhelmed, they go to the state, and the state will come in, and maybe we even get people from other states. Depends on how big the issue is. So
I'd like
all
to
this
know,
planning,
too.
I'm sorry?
Sorry.
All this planning
I
is in
understand.
place. If you're looking for what happens if X happens here, you may not find that. I'm giving
I'm
you
looking
a heads
for
up.
a public forum that includes the community where they can ask questions that are relevant to them. I'm looking for proactivity rather than reactivity. I am looking, as I had highlighted before, there was a sheriff's conference that occurred in D.C. where the Ohio sheriff then made a public comment regarding everything that he found is going on down the pike because of what's on our horizon, and not really on our horizon, but what's really coming into our neighborhoods as well, and said that he's going to take a proactive stance and that he is going to involve his community. I'd like to know. I live in Northampton. It's important to me. I live in Bucks County as well. I want to know. I want to know that we are affording our community a voice to speak about their concerns, and how our government, as you are our government locally, is going to accommodate them, and what we're prepared for, and just give them a voice, give them a forum, give them a platform. So that's why I'm here, really. I'd like to be, curled up in bed. It's raining out, but here I am. So I'd appreciate an answer and a time frame or something. I don't want to just sit down.
We have an emergency services board here, so we'll take the request back and have a discussion there.
Okay.
I don't know what the time frame will be, but we'll do that.
Thank you.
Liz? Just say your name again, thanks.
Liz Yaus, Churchville. Just to a couple of thoughts that I had with this discussion. Are there drills for certain parts of the plan that happen sometimes? I know I've heard of certain emergency, I can't even think of an example, but I've heard of drills happening, of what would happen if whatever happened. I was just wondering if anything like that is ongoing. Last month, a man came to the meeting and spoke about having a list of residents in this area and listing their area of expertise, and that came to mind when I was thinking about if anything happened in an emergency, we might have people like in the military that have experience doing certain things. So I was just thinking if we had a list of the people that live here who would be able to lend a hand in an emergency, I think that that would be great. I'd love to know that my neighbor down the street, experienced this, that, or whatever in the military or whatever, and could help us out. And for example, I didn't know that the library was a place to go in an emergency, so I guess I need to read our weekly or monthly papers that come out or whatever. But yeah, I think definitely people need to have a lot of ways to receive this information. I don't do social media, so I don't hear these things on Facebook and things like that. So on a much lighter note, I was in a discussion recently with a friend who lives in, I think, Southampton or whatever, and she said that they are starting to regulate and impose ordinances on single-use plastic carry-out bags. I was just wondering where this board stands on this topic. Many people reuse these bags in many ways, and private businesses should decide these things, not a government entity. So I was just wondering if that has ever come up, and hopefully, businesses will be able to decide that on their own. If this type of policy were to come up, will there be public comment to give their input into this issue? So just curious if you've ever heard of these restrictions being put upon us.
If anything were to come up and any action were to be taken by this board, it would be done here and there would be public comment.
Okay. So it would be an agenda item?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. We don't have anybody else on the list. With no further business, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.